Welcome everybody, this is Romero17 and I'm bringing you a video between myself versus the number 2 player in the world. And looking back at this fight, I thought this would be a great way to kind of show how people really underestimate not really the strength of the block, but really like the strength of patience in the game and really taking your time to pick your shots. At Veda, a lot of people would like to call him like somebody who runs, and he does admittedly backpedal a lot. But if you notice in the lower levels of this game, a lot of people say pressure this, pressure that, pressure this, oh, combos this and that. And I think a lot of times what happens is when somebody starts getting, barrage with this a volume of strikes, they want to fire back immediately, right back, only to run into another rainstorm of strikes. They get rocked, they get hurt, they think this is crazy, this is insane. But one thing that Advaita does really well is that he's extremely patient and he's very articulate with the shots that he chooses. He does all his shots are based on getting a specific reaction out of you. He does a great job with the feints, and what also helps him is that everybody knows he has insane grappling. If this man puts you in side control, unless you manage to catch him off guard, which is very rare, you're likely screwed for the rest of the fight if he catches you in side control early. Great dude. Plays the game really well. He plays it to his strengths, and it's a style that you simply don't really see often in the game, because in most fighting games people want to play, they want to get the quickest results possible. They want to get the knockout as early as possible. So this is always a nice, refreshing take. I fought him before. He's beaten me a couple of times before this. I beat him. I recently beat him. We go back and forth a lot. And his best character by far has been Cerrone. And I wanted to get into talking about the little nuances of the exchanges, the nuances of blocking strikes and exchanging, and maintaining your stamina as you're trying to look for these exchanges. Now, start off the fight with a bit of respect. Have my name covered. He does a really good job using his footwork to circle. Starts off with a nice switch kick. Expecting me to fire back, he goes with a lead uppercut rear body hook, which is different. Immediately catches my first kick, takes me down to side control. I'm waiting, building up grapple advantage to get into full guard, get the full guard transition, and this is where I need to be extremely careful. The full guard postured up transition, full guard postured up transition. If you get there, I honestly think next to crucifix and side control, this is like one of the worst positions to be in, because it is extremely easy to deny the transitions from bottom, left, and right. And if the person just starts transitioning up a bunch of times to kind of keep you there, you can just transition free to the side. So I'm playing a very patient game with my guard. Go for Kimura, and the ref goes to stand up. So I managed to avoid the wrath of Advaita on the ground, and I'm like, all right. So he immediately wants to take me down. He doesn't want to stay on the field with Aldo. And I don't know if you guys watched Martial Mind's video with Yoel Romero, right? He did something where he stood like a statue with Yoel. He didn't do anything. And it was great to see how much people kind of overthink with their strikes, right? They just see this statue of a man not doing anything and just countering when he chooses to counter. And I thought, that's a great example for, you can parlay that into counter striking 101. Advaita here, he's only choosing to exchange when he feels that it's safe. If you notice, I'm not walking into his range. The strength of the block protects him from that 3-hit combination. And if I were to continue to follow up with that 3-hit combination, my short-term stamina would have been low, and if he were to plant and throw a combination there, he would rock me. There I go for the double jab mix up to the body. Misses a body kick of his own. And one thing Advaita does extremely well, he goes for a jab feint. And he used that jab feint to set up the body strikes. But from there, if you start reading the jab feint, he'll start feinting a jab. He'll feint the jab, and then he'll feint the straight. And then from there, he'll fall off with a body kick. And I'm thinking he was going to go for a knee, because with Cerrone, he likes to go for the knees once you start to pressure him too much. So I was thinking of throwing the elbow to counter that, but he wasn't throwing as much. And I know Moicano has oblique kicks, but he's not trying to throw too much with those oblique kicks because of the risk of all those 96 power. Well, one thing I want you guys to pay attention to is the health meter of my head when I'm getting into these exchanges. If you continue to exchange, as you see where my head health is recovering, right? If you continue to exchange when it's low, it is increased long-term damage towards your head health. It is, I repeat that, it's increased long-term damage towards your head health versus you taking it pitter-patter, letting yourself recover from the brunt of the strikes, and then going back to exchange. And that's where a lot of people, they get kind of messed up. They start to exchange when their head health is extremely low, and they try to fire back too soon, and then that's where all the rocks and all the knockdowns happen, and then you get people say EA sucks and whatnot. So, good round for him, I assumed. And again, this is different. It's being very comfortable circling. There he tries to go for the 1-2 lead body kick, but it's stuffed there because he's too close. He goes for the left transition instead of trying for the break right away, so I failed to deny that. And my game plan is, alright, he is extremely comfortable with circling left, circling right, and then immediately planting a jab in my face. So Aldo has Muay Thai combos level 5, so what I was thinking, I'm not going to go right out the gate with every single combination in the book because this is a 5-round fight. But I need to make sure whatever I land, I have him guessing. And you see that? I'm going to attack off the hit stuns. I'm going to attack off whatever's available to me. And again, this is, to me, in a game where people swear that it's always about pressure. This is pressure. This is about throwing 200 strikes around. This is a really methodical fight, and he makes an adjustment, doesn't get caught in a tie clinch again. Because this is a thorough understanding of how to use the defense in the game. If you noticed, right there now, as I came in and went for my strikes, he blocked the first 2 strikes, and then immediately planted to throw the jab lead hook to catch me if I was to throw a 3rd strike. And he comes forward with that jab straight body kick again. Really good shot selection on that Veda's part. And this fight is a thinking game. It's about who makes the first mistake. I want to make the read of slipping his strike and landing a slip straight. That's my goal. That's my goal to get my first rock. However, if I mistime this strike and I get caught by a hook and he rocks me, because of the new tuner set that was dropped, a few nice little fake takedowns to the clinch attempt right there. Essentially what that tuner was, it was in April it dropped, and the key thing was that it increased the stun threshold for triggering a stun health event, making them slightly less common, which means that you can't simply now just like walk in front of somebody, throw a 4-hit combination, and easily get that stun and rock that you also desire. So it helps the person on the defensive end if they're using the block. They're not worried about getting rocked by every little thing. And it's really benefited defensive players if they use their tools effectively. Aveda's not the type of guy to lunge. You know, he's not the type of guy to use pivots or anything like that. He keeps it relatively simple. He uses the weapons available to him using the characters that he fights with, whether it be teeps to the body to create distance, whether it be those said mix-ups to keep the opponent away and keep him guessing. He does a phenomenal job with that. Now for myself, I'm not going to win this fight trying to block break him. So I need to target other sides of the body, and that's going to be the legs. There he tries to time a slip straight of his own. Right there. If you notice, now these exchanges are getting a little bit heated. I'm pressuring a little bit more. And you notice, I see the flash in my head health. And now I've gone full defense. I'm in front of him, but I'm letting my head health recover. Because if I were to exchange where my head is flashing right then and there, I risk getting dropped by Veda. And look, he's firing off jab uppercut, had I ducked, and there's another flash right there. It's telling me you need to be careful. You can't simply just walk into his punching range and expect to win these exchanges. And I don't know how the judge scored rounds. I think rounds 1 or 2. Could have been like 1-1. Could have been 2-0 for either. Even despite the takedown in round 1. For right there, I'm using good defense, good head movement. Use a takedown counter there. That's that 99 takedown defense coming clutch. The elbow, but I'm not trying to keep this fight on the ground. If he wants to take it to the ground, that means he's feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I'm trying to predict jab, uppercut, hook, and I was planning to land that pull counter. I'm ducking to protect my body with the shoulder. And here you start to see the defense. The different defensive skills start to open up here. Using the slips, using the counters that we have available to us. For off a classic Jose Aldo combo, 1-2. Lead uppercut, leg kick. And there I get the slip counter that I desired. Timed it off the 1-2. And again, I can't, even though I got this rock and it very likely secured me the round, I can't get too overzealous here. It's still a minute left in the fight. He's pushing me with the teep kick to get me to overreact. And I really was having fun with this fight. Because it's one person playing defense exceptionally well and choosing when to strike when they see fit. Forcing the fight to go at their pace on their terms. And then it's up to me to adjust and force them to get out of their comfort zone. There I use the X button to lower that body health. You know, for those of you that don't know, if you use X or circle when you catch a kick, you can damage your long-term stamina and their body health with that. Too much, a little bit too late. And now, if you guys have gotten this far in the video, I want you to think. I want you to think about this. What's to stop you from trying to play defense and circle and stop your opponents from overwhelming you? If you have enough confidence in your offense, the way Advaita does, you know, you don't have to go shot for shot against the guy who's throwing an excessive amount of strikes per round. You can easily play the defensive role, learn your characters, use them accordingly. And look at that phenomenal head movement from Moicano, from Advaita. To me, like even watching this fight back, I mean, the amount of vids that are being made here is great. And he's southpaw now, so you can land those body kicks. Although in hindsight, if you're the orthodox fighter and you have a switch kick, the switch kick will hit the liver, so that way you didn't have to switch to southpaw, so you can get those southpaw liver kicks, because you already have a solid kick for that. When I saw him flick that high block, low block that way, that showed me that he was very concerned about the kicks, and he's trying to time a check. And one of my gripes about the game is that to check a kick and catch a kick, it's simply hold low block. Simply hold low block, and you'll check and catch. Well, you'll block any kick, but timing it is what it's going to take for you to check it. However, if you're already holding low block and the kick is incoming, you automatically check the kick, and I'm not a fan of that. Marshall was telling me that in UD3, for you to, Undisputed 3, for those of you who don't get that, for you to check a low kick, you need to hold R2 and then flick right stick down. And I thought that's a wonderful idea. I thought that was, if they could do that for UFC 4, that would be great. But in this game, I think the best way to land leg kicks are landing leg kicks as they're coming in with a strike, as they're planted. throwing leg kicks in combination rather than just single strikes, because those are the easiest ones that get checked. As you notice what I'm doing with Aldo, I'm mixing up my strikes, I'm switching up my offense. Sometimes I go back to the jab body kick. But I managed to come on strong here with my Muay Thai in this fight. And my assumption is that it could be 3-1 for me heading into this 5th round. Could be 2-2 heading into this 5th round. Game tells me last round. I call bullshit. Anytime I see that, I call bullshit. But anytime I see that, I call bullshit on that. But ain't no touch of gloves here. Solid jab, solid timing on that jab. I gotta be careful with my short-term stamina here. And again, this really shows the effectiveness. Like, this is with Moicano, right? He's circling with Moicano, relying on his block. His block is not getting mushed. It's not getting destroyed, because I respect his counter offense enough that I'm not going to simply waltz in there. If I was to start off this 5-round fight with a blitz of 4-hit combos, I'm not getting out of there. I'm not getting out of this fight in the 3rd round. My stamina would be blitzed and I'd be finished. But this amount of patience is just astounding, honestly. It just shows you that you can't be in a rush. You have to make the reads that are necessary for you to win the fights. You can't look to counter every single time your opponent whiffs. It's on you to take the time, make the adjustments that you need to make, and when it's time to finish the fight, do just that. Much respect to Advaita. The fact that the way that he fights forces the fight to be slowed down, I have a lot of respect for that. It's very different compared to how a lot of other players play. But take a look at this fight, pick out things that you like, and add them into your game. This is Romero 17. I'm out of here.
This is a huge result and a huge win for that fighter here tonight. Let's take a look at that again. Here we see it again.